we go. I see you now. What is up? Dude, I love that getup. Look at that outfit. Oh, shit.
Goodgame.ru представляет Шон Дейнайн.
That's me, Sean. Bam.
Привет, Шон. Мы подготовили самые интересные вопросы от пользователей нашего портала. Кстати, давно ли ты знаешь о Goodgame?
Absolutely, I've known about goodgame.ru for quite a many years, so I'm glad to see they're still alive and kicking strong in the StarCraft 2 scene.
Итак, первый вопрос не о втором StarCraft'е, а о Brood War. Скучаешь ли ты по этой игре?
Yeah, it's the best game ever made. I actually I think it's safe to say that I watch a lot of StarCraft 2. I think that I can just say people believe that. But lately I've been watching at least as much Brood War as I have StarCraft 2, thanks to Snipe a lot. I mean, there's ignoring all things related to design or balance or players or anything like that. I mean, StarCraft 2 is a game that I've been playing for a few years, but Brood War is a game that I grew up playing. It was central to my childhood and young adult life, so nothing will ever replace it.
Скоро стартует турнир от Соника по Brood War. Ты уже слышал о нем?
Oh my god, I am so pumped. Did you see the players list? Oh my god. Because I mean, I've been watching, obviously so much Snipe a lot, and then seeing like every single player who's playing on the Fish server now, all of them are in the SOSPA, so I'm super pumped. Like, that's gonna bring back the good old late night feels.
Не хотел ли ты вспомнить прошлое и постримить этот турнир?
I mean, I'm definitely going to tune into the stream, but what I'll much rather do is direct people to the stream. I mean, I'm a big believer in not restreaming other people's content or anything like that, so I would want to make sure they get all the viewers possible. I mean, I haven't even thought anything down that line, to be honest. I mean, I've been viewing this totally from a fanboy perspective. I mean, for me, Brood War was never like a career. It's just like it was just my favorite thing in the universe. And then to see that my favorite thing in the universe having a resurgence, yeah, I've never even considered it, really.
Вернемся ко второму StarCraft'у. Что ты думаешь о нынешней системе проведения ВЦС? Честно ли то, что корейские игроки могут принимать участие в американских и европейских отборочных?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fair. I think that what many people say about not enough opportunities for players who are native to the region is absolutely true. I also don't think that WCS is has to be the means for those people to succeed. Let me take the American scene, for instance. There's not a lot of American players doing well in WCS America. Yeah, so let's pretend for a moment that it was region locked, that literally you had to be a citizen and show a passport to be able to play. The game quality would be bad compared to what it has been. Objectively speaking, it would be much worse. The games would be less interesting. You wouldn't see as many innovative strategies. You wouldn't see the best of the best players. You would see some people show up, win against each other with close to top play, but not top play, and then go to the finals and get crushed. And I think that's, again, objectively, that's bad. I don't think anyone would want that. But what I do think is true is that there's just not enough opportunities for those people to practice and to train and to aspire. Imagine, for instance, if the top 64 players on the Grandmaster ladder were thrown into a tournament every month, and it was forced in those regions. So if you were on the American ladder, you could play in the American Grandmaster monthly, and you could win $3,000 if you got first place prize. Well, cool, I'm an American student. Maybe I'm going to start playing and work my way up there. And now if I start doing well in those monthly Grandmaster tournaments, then I'm going to maybe get picked up by a pro team and get more opportunities to begin to train and to practice. Things like that are the opportunities being created without forcing the scene to be what it should be. Because the big struggle for American players is that there's really no goal. Like what am I going to try to do if I'm an American player? I'm going to try for WCS North America. Oops, didn't qualify, missed it by one round. nothing to do. There's nothing going on right now. So that's my opinion on the region locking aspect. I think that it's not that WCS NA needs to be bashed into supporting American players. They're worse than Europeans and they're worse than Koreans by a noticeable and significant margin. So if there were more opportunities for them to train and practice with the best, then great. It would cultivate the scene we want. Bam! Boom!
Шон, что ты думаешь о трансляциях киберспорта по телевидению? В Корее давно существуют каналы, транслирующие исключительно киберспорт. В Европе и Америке такое возможно в ближайшее время?
I don't even think it needs to happen. I think it's kind of an archaic form already, like television. I mean, the idea of television shows and regular broadcast channels is great, but Netflix is bigger than any of that, right? Like Netflix, like get this, during primetime hours, Netflix bandwidth takes up a third of the internet. Like of all bandwidth traffic of the internet, it's Netflix. So that should give you a sense of how huge video is online. So, and I don't see a big reason to force gamers who spend their time at their computers, who watch games on their computers, who like computers, like
Everybody likes
things like that. Yeah, I mean, like, why say, hey, stop watching on your PC where there's a live Twitch chat and you can have Liquipedia open and another stream open and be Skyping with your friends? Stop that and go turn on your TV where you can only just watch. That just seems silly. I think that it shouldn't be a goal, and if it happens, is great, but it won't change anything in my eyes. Boom.
Что, по-твоему, нужно сделать для популяризации StarCraft 2?
What should be done to popularize StarCraft 2? I think some of the biggest things all come down to the question: what do people who are big StarCraft 2 watchers, what do they do? They're not people who are hopping on the ladder and playing super hardcore games. I mean, most of the people who watch the tournaments don't play tournament format games. They don't. They're not working on their builds or doing any of that stuff. They like playing 3v3s. They like playing in the arcade. I think that there should be more focus on that, because if I know that I can hop in with my friends and play in a 4v4 tournament, and that we can, like, I don't know, win free t-shirts and just fun, goofy stuff that's really feel good. If every, hell, Fun Day Monday, which I think, I enjoyed doing that show and that sort of thing, but what if there was a Fun Day Monday map and every week it rotated, and all of a sudden, I'm logging in and it's none of this, you gotta win, it's not serious, it's not scary, it's just fun. Then more people will just be logging in and be active in StarCraft 2. And then those people can then carry on over to become watchers, because that's very much so what it was in Brood War. People were playing 4v4 fastest map possible, or were playing turret defense or diplomacy, and would just chat with people and find out about the pro scene and watch the pro scene and play their infinite money map games. And that's awesome. That's great. There's no reason that super serious, ultra amazing play has to be the norm by any means. I think that is a way that it would be, that it could grow a lot.
Шон,
Yes.
как часто ты смотришь турниры по StarCraft 2 не для того, чтобы постримить их, а просто для себя?
Oh, I mean, all the time. I mean, so let's see. So, like, for instance, let's take 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when there was less hecticness of me moving around. I did 5 dailies in a row. I mean, it was Monday to Thursday. Live, I was from like 7 to 8:30, around those times. The 3+ hours before then was like preparing for the show, making sure I like had a show at all. But like while I'm preparing the show, I'll have like a tournament broadcast up. If I'm at home on the weekend, I have a tournament broadcast up. As I'm talking to you right now, I have a stream up. I mean, I'm watching Grubby play. He's not doing anything serious, but he was playing a little while ago, uh, basically constantly. The fact is, to be able to even do what I do takes just a lot of effort and knowledge. What if I got up and began casting a tournament like WCS? I just didn't really know how people played Zerg vs. Zerg. I would be a shitty cast. So, I will make myself do things like, okay, I've watched a lot of Protoss and Terran the last few days. Today and tomorrow, only Zergs. I'm only going to watch Zerg streams. Every tournament that releases the replays, I'll comb through all of those for my show. I watch pretty much all the StarCraft content that's out there.
Okay.
And to answer the question, I don't know if that counts as for myself because it's technically work related, but I do this job because I really enjoy it, so same thing.
Следующий вопрос. Есть ли у тебя любимые игроки?
Yes. SOS is really high up there. Same with Sulky. Just love watching them play. Pult. Those are probably my 3 favorite players of the 3 races. I love watching Liquid Heroes craziness. Foreign players got to be Grubby, man. Grubby's the man. Who doesn't love Grubby?
Everybody, let's go.
Bisu for Brood War is great. I like all the Protoss. I like watching Jaehoon a lot. I like watching Pure. Sea Shield is always great to watch. I don't like watching Mong. I don't know why. I don't think I'm not that big a fan of his play style. It's not as like in your face as some of the other players I like. Ta-da! There's my answer.
Спасибо. Как ты считаешь, результат игры в StarCraft больше зависит от стратегических навыков игроков или от мелких удачных действий, например, удачный шторм или хорошо поставленный форсфилд?
I would say that micro actually does not really have that much influence in StarCraft 2 at all. Most of what will win you a game is setting up a battle. So, for instance, I'm imagining, like a Marine tank line trying to break a Marine tank line. If you can get a good pre-angle and set it up and then say go, there's actually no time in the game to even do micro, if you look at how quickly things die. There's little tiny micro things, like maybe you could say that stutter stepping is micro, but it's so easy to do that it's just, you're just automatic. You're going to do that. And splitting Marines up, yeah, that's probably the only micro I can think of, really, against Banelings. Everything else is sort of like setting it up in advance type stuffs. So, in terms of strategy and tactics, definitely strategy by a long margin. And by strategy, I mean setting up your build to be able to be successful down the line with it. I actually am kind of disappointed in how not powerful a lot of tactics are. Like, no matter how tricky or great, well, actually, most good strategies aren't really that vulnerable to like little tactical plays. Like, well, I'm gonna figure out this little thing. I mean, most of the game is a lot of defending, a lot of just setting up a good position, and then just straight pushes to the front, and then just setting up the position properly. So yeah, I would say that macro and having a good build order are far and away the most important skills in StarCraft 2, because think of how easy it is to die if you just didn't get the right defense up. Whoops, didn't have a force field. 30 Zerglings ran into my base. Ah! Well, I need to make sure that I just have that sentry there in my strategy. It just has to be part of it. Well, oh my god, Mutalisk showed up and I died. I guess I just have to already have an answer or a plan to Mutalisks in this game, so.
I see.
Yeah.
Спасибо за ответ.
Owned.
Имеются ли у тебя связи с Blizzard, благодаря которым ты мог бы внедрить свою идею для грядущего аддона StarCraft 2? Можешь ли ты как-то повлиять на будущее StarCraft?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say abuse. I would not abuse them to do it. I'm not gonna like trick Blizzard into putting a reverb back in the game. But Blizzard's great. Yeah, I know a lot of the guys at Blizzard. I'm good friends with many of them. They're always very receptive to feedback and always want to hear what you have to say about stuff. Even when I'm not even interested in giving feedback, they're like, "Hey, what's up? You got any feedback? What are you thinking about this? What do you think about that one?" So um, that's always really nice. I haven't spoken to them at all about Legacy of the Void or what's coming on with that. In terms of like new units and balance and strategy, I mean, obviously everyone knows that new units are going to be happening, and that's cool. New units are always fun. In terms of the single player, that's what I'm most excited for because I want to know what happens with Amon. Yeah.
Что ты думаешь о командных лигах? Необходимы ли они для развития StarCraft'а?
Or
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm all about team leagues. Team leagues, I think, are important for I think three reasons. I definitely have two, but and I'll think of a third as I go. The first big reason is that it's like a hedge against screwing up in a tournament. Let's say I'm Liquid TLO. Everyone loves me. I'm handsome. I'm charming. Wow, it's good to be me. But TLO will try out for WCS Premier League, screw up, get knocked out, and then he has to wait like 3 or 4 months to get a chance to be seen. Not to be seen, to get a chance to be seen. But if there's a team league where Team Liquid is one of the invited teams, they can just send TLO out in round two. So suddenly, if you're a huge fan of TLO, you just know that you show up to any team league, you know Team Liquid's going to be there, and you're going to get to see TLO. So that's fantastic for the pros. For the new players, it's what we were talking about earlier. It's an opportunity to climb up. It's a clear path up. If I can perform well enough in my inter-team practice, then I'm going to get a chance to play in the team league. This team now actually has a motivation to cultivate me, the new player, because not only will it help to strengthen the roster, but now this player maybe even do well in the individual leagues. It's very hard for a lot of teams to justify sending a brand new player that nobody has heard about all the way to a dream hack to hope that he does well. It's like a nice connecting glue to bring the new player in to launch him off into a future career. Like Jaedong and Bisu were pro league monsters for a long time. Particularly Jaedong was a pro league monster before he began to do well in individual leagues. And the third reason is just that it's a really nice, fun team-focused thing to root for. It's so fun to root for Team EG or Team Mouse Sports. It's much easier to wrap your head around a team than it is to wrap your head around like a player, I think. Because you have to keep track of like 60,000 players, and unless you're me and you can spend 10 hours a day looking at StarCraft 2 stuff, it's really hard. But when there's like 11 teams, yeah, easy peasy. It's like that way to introduce new people to players.
Что ты можешь сказать о СНГ-сцене StarCraft 2? Какого из игроков ты можешь назвать наиболее перспективным?
I didn't know that you were going to say the most promising. I thought you were going to say if you have any favorites, because I was going to talk about, the players like Android and Advocat from the old days, like
so
Asmodee. Yeah, sort of old school players.
many
I
years
mean,
ago.
I'm going to choose the obvious, Titan. I mean, Titan I love watching because he's like a really tactical Protoss, and even though I just got done saying that I don't think tactics are as important as strategy, I still love the way that he's able to pull it off without botching. I think his build orders are brilliant, and they hit timings that many players are not used to. And I think that makes him very exciting.
Что ты можешь сказать о Хэппи?
I like Happy. I don't like him as much as I like Titan as a player to like watch play. Happy does do a lot more of this sort of well-rounded standard stuff, and I'm a sucker for cutesy builds. Like Titan did, like very fast warp gate pushes against Zergs will hit around like 7:30-ish in that range. Sometimes sooner, so a little bit later. While Titan just chrono boosts out 4 zealots. and gets +1 really fast. Then he hits with 4 zealots at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Most Zergs don't even have a Roach Warren done at that point in time. So they have to make Zergling... Yeah, and like, okay, you have 1 queen, well, time warp, owned. So it's a really interesting sort of time that we just don't really see.
Ты очень много улыбаешься и смеешься. Скажи, кто научил тебя улыбаться по-корейски?
I see what you mean. Yeah, not like I just started to make myself smile more, like very consciously in college, because it's very easy to like just have like a really dead face, you know, and be like, oh, that movie was like really good, and to like not be doing anything with your face. So like if you just look in a mirror and talk to yourself and think, what actually makes looking at me not feel fucking horrible? And it's smiling. Ah, you just put on a smile. Like if you go into a grocery store and when you make eye contact with someone, you smile. And I don't mean one of these like one of those smiles. I mean like smile with your teeth. Almost everyone will look back at you and smile with their teeth. Almost everyone. And so I just started to smile about things more, and then I just felt better. I started smiling at people more, and they would smile back, which made me more happy to just see strangers. And soon enough, I now have the Korean smile that you talk about. So there it is.
Чем ты занимаешься помимо StarCraft'а? Я слышал, ты стал компьютерным дизайнером.
Yeah.
Не мог бы ты рассказать, чем именно ты занимаешься как дизайнер?
I work with a group called Artillery Games up in Palo Alto, California. And it's really a cool project because the technology is impossible. Like it shouldn't work. Like I'm sure you play StarCraft or League of Legends or any number of these. Yeah, all of it. Yeah, Dota, TF2, whatever it is. There's a lot of really fun games that you're like, all right, just got home from a long day at work, time to log in, and it's downloading a patch. Okay, there it is, and downloads, and it's going. You're like, wow, I really can't wait to play. Maybe I'll watch an episode of a thing, and then finally it patches. Or even worse, if you get a new PC, you have to begin the download of the client. So you have to download like these huge installs. I mean, hell, even Grand Theft Auto. I was going to be playing. Like just open it up, put it in, and play. This is a disc. This should just go in and work, but I had to do an 8 gigabyte install and a 4 gigabyte download. Took forever. So the goal with the artillery technology is that you can go to yourfavoриtegame.com, whatever it is, and it just says loading, and maybe 15 seconds, 30 seconds pass, and then you're in game, and that's it. No more loading, no more waiting. It could be on a fresh computer. You don't have to download anything, you don't have to install anything. It just says loading, and then there it is. And there's other companies that have done similar seeming things, where they're actually streaming a video to you. So when you like move your mouse, it sends the signal to a server, and then like, 1 second later you actually see the mouse cursor move. It's nothing like that. It's actually running on your browser. So the way that it responds, any delay that would be on, is equivalent to any of the existing games you'd play, like a StarCraft 2, like a League of Legends. So that, in my eyes, is like the most kick-ass thing in the universe, because it just means games are super accessible now. And we're building an RTS on top of that. So you can go to, artillery.com. It says loading, boom, there you are into the game. So it's just a really convenient way to play. But, the technology, even though it's amazing, because I'm kind of a little techno nerd and I like when things are sexy, still not as significant as making a good game. So that is what I'm doing. I'm a designer.
В последнее время ты часто стримишь Hearthstone.
Oh, I love Hearthstone. Oh my god.
Наверняка ты рассчитываешь победить на турнире по Hearthstone на Близконе. Что ты вообще думаешь о новой игре от Blizzard?
If they can do anything to StarCraft 2 like they did with Hearthstone, they did it. They did it. They won all my money. They have received the money. Right now, Jesus, it's so fun. I can't even begin to express how fun it is because card games are not visceral. You don't get to, I fucked him up, you know, like what 5-year-olds get in Hearth or in Call of Duty, you know. Geez, 5-year-olds? That was really young. 10-year-olds do in Call of Duty. Turn a coin, boo, get a guy in the head, and he's like, yeah, owned, like that feeling you would not associate with card games. Well, Hearthstone has that. It's so good. Like the fact that the cards you collide with each other, and there's explosions and dust. The interface alone is like 50% of why it's so unbelievably fun. But I just think it is brilliant, like truly brilliant. Like Blizzard is standing on top of a gold mine. Like once that goes public, they're going to they're gonna buy America probably with the funds. It's insane. The whole world, they'll buy like men, women, and children from all countries and just to own them because they have too much money to spend.
У тебя, наверное, самый большой АПМ из всех игроков в Hearthstone. Такой контроль карт помогает тебе?
Oh yeah, that works against me because you know, like in StarCraft, you're taught over thousands of games, you gotta act. You might make the wrong choice, but doing the wrong choice really quickly and really efficiently is always going to be better. Always, than doing the right choice but waiting a little while and thinking about it. You know, it's, well, should I get up a cannon or a sentry? Should I skip it and go for a robo? I don't know. You know what? Let me get the robo. Well, you know what? You waited too long, so now you just have a shitty robo build. And all of those sort of trainings are bad for card games because you really should stop and slow down and look. But I love just cards colliding and explosions happening, and I'm like, got him. So I need to work on that.
Спасибо.
Yeah.
Последний вопрос немного странный.
I'm ready. Let's close it strong.
Есть два стула. Если ты сядешь на один из них, то ты будешь играть в LoL. Если ты сядешь на второй, то в Dota 2. Какой из этих стульев ты выберешь как наказание?
This question was written by a teenager. That's my answer, because that choice doesn't exist. That choice doesn't. You know what? I would push the chairs out of the way and I'd go play Hearthstone because I just got done talking about how fun it was. What is if you were forced? Like, games are not punishment. There is no gun that will be held to my head. What is this person who's like, I will find out a truth about the world by posing this question with chairs? Who is this guy? Yeah, that's my answer, man. You see that? Don't ask dumb questions. Who asked that question? Was that you, Anton?
No, it's not me.
Thank God. Who asked it? Let's call him out. What's his name? Look, after this video, I want you to find out everyone who upvoted and be like, you guys. I want you to just record a video of you just doing the cross-armed head shake. What kind of question is that? Sean, if you had a gun to your head and it said StarCraft 2 or Brood War and you had to choose one, I would let him shoot me. I'm in a horrible situation anyways, man. Come on, what are these? Aren't the choices? Alright, that's done. Boom.
Шон, спасибо за интервью. Рад были тебя видеть.
감사합니다. Удачи. Good game.